Tales of Mithrym.
Skeleton Crew, read by Brendan Lorenzo, Part 12, Power of Will. Elvin drew himself up and looked out over the deck of the ship. Cracked and splintered wood, spilt barrels, and broken fixtures littered the whole area as the early light of day and the still flickering light of the torches cast odd shadows across it all. "This does not have to end with bloodshed!" he shouted to the assembled crews. His voice cracked slightly as he tried to be as loud as possible. "I have spoken to the captain! We can leave! We can all just leave and be done with this!" The cold dawn air hung around them quite still. Over on the other ship, the pirate crew looked to their captain, who nodded down to them. "It's true, lads. I agreed. This fight ain't for us. We can down tools, walk away, and find better hauls than this elsewhere." Elvin nodded. "See? This has been a crazy night, but we have what we need to get to Kanath now. We can still survive this. We can all get back to see our loved ones." At a nod from their captain, the skeletons on the deck straightened up and began to walk back and across to their own ship. Likewise on the pirate ship, the zombies backed off from the sailors there and stood in lines before the poop, looking up at the captain. "What?" came a shout from the sailors that stood in front of Elvin. "Are you serious?" The voice was filled with anger and pain. "See them again! They killed our crew! They're still lying on that forsaken island away back yonder! Are we gonna see them again?" There was a round of mumbling that slowly turned into cries of agreement. The sailors on both ships began shouting with angry cries to Elvin and to the undead. Tensions were still running high, and one sailor lashed out at a nearby skeleton. It leapt back and continued to follow the command to return. Other sailors ran forward to attack too. "Stop, please!" Elvin called again. "Please, this has gone far enough already." "You heard him!" He began pushing the sailors still on the pirate ship back towards their own. "Back across now!" "You too, lads!" the pirate's captain called. "We're leaving, we're done!" Back on the main ship, the skeletons redoubled their efforts to cross back as Derville, following Ducky's lead, stood defiantly between them and the sailors. "No!" came a sudden sharp cry. It was the first mate. Back on the pirate ship, he had stepped in front of his captain and was angrily stamping his feet. There was a defiance in his tone and a deep anger. "I won't let you leave prey when you've caught it. What are you?" The pirate captain looked in amazement at her officer. The first mate turned on the spot and called out to the undead crew across both ships. "Stand fast!" he shouted. His voice boomed with a deep echo that seemed strange in the stillness of the air. As he called, though, the pirate crew all did so. "We have to finish this!" he yelled, turning back on the captain. "Give the order! End this!" The pirate captain looked taken aback. "Very well, if you won't, I will," he said, turning back. "Finish it, lads! Kill them!" As one man, the pirate crew began lumbering towards the sailors. There seemed to be a pale blue glint in their eyes as they all drew weapons and swung at the sailors. Many parried, some leapt out of the way, others turned and ran as far as they could. The two ships creaked as the crews shifted on top of them. The sailors felt the weariness in their muscles as the image of another fight loomed in front of them. Many called again for a truce and a ceasefire. The undead horde seemed to be all the more focused now, though, and continued to advance on them. "No!" the pirate's captain's voice rang out. "No! I won't allow it! Stand down! Stand down!" For a moment it seemed that the undead faltered. They stood motionless for a few seconds, and one or two turned to look at her, the blue fading from their eyes and small smiles forming on their faces. For the briefest of moments it felt as if the whole thing was about to stop. Then, with a power that pushed many backwards where they stood, a burst of blue light erupted and struck out in all directions. The first mate stood, hands raised and eyes fully black. "No!" he shouted. "For Imu, this must be finished. Blood is demanded, and blood there shall be!" The eyes of the undead now glowed again with bright blue fire, and they rounded on the sailors. Elvin, Ducky, and Derville all held their breath and readied for a battle. But the captain's voice came again. "Stop it!" she cried. "Stand down! I won't let this happen! We're a crew! We look out for each other! We save each other! Now stop this madness and come back!" The air was thick with the sticky taste of magic. The undead and the sailors alike readied attacks. Then one zombie, for a moment, slumped, the light flickering in its eyes. It looked at the sailors, at its fellow crewmates, and up at the captain. Then, with a slow, deliberate tone, it spoke. "No," it said, sounding the word out carefully with a tongue that had long since lost its full ability. "No, I won't do this." It looked hard at the captain. "We follow you, Captain." Like a ripple then as large as a wave, The others lowered their weapons and did likewise. Shouts and cries of, "We follow you, Captain!" echoed around the ship as zombie and skeleton alike saluted their captain. "No!" The first mate stamped his foot and swore to the sky. "No! Imu demands blood. If you won't see this through, then I will." The captain ran to stop him, but it was too late. Another burst of blue energy erupted from him as he started to chant deep, harsh words. Both crews looked on in horror as they realized the sea around them was bubbling. A deep rumble filled the air and the bubbling turned into a roar as water flew up in all directions. "Imu demands blood," the first mate repeated as from the seas a tentacle rose.
Tales of Mithrym are written by Jimmy Clephane. Mithrym is a fantasy world built for the Dungeon Room role-playing game system. To find out more about the world of Mithrym, or to try out the game, go to www.mithrym.com.